Hey everybody, Mark Walters of BigFanboy.com. We're here at San Diego Comic-Con, Nerd Prom, and I'm here with Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby, who are the writers of Cowboys and Aliens, along with a lot of other great films. Now, I first met you guys when you were working on First Snow, which I think is a great film that not enough people have seen, and I try to remedy that whenever I can. I try to recommend it to people and loan out the DVD whenever I can. So
it is a yes, subtle, underappreciated movie, right?
Yeah. You guys, I mean, it was weird because, like, I first met you when you worked on First Snow, and then the next thing I know, you're doing Iron Man, and you've got all these huge projects coming out, and now Cowboys and Aliens is, like, one of the biggest films of the summer. I mean, it's got to be really exciting to just kind of go from, I guess what you could say, just independent filmmaking into major filmmaking like this. So, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys and Aliens project?
Yeah, I mean, we found our way, our sensibility that we were doing in the indie stuff. People liked it, and it translated well to other films that we didn't necessarily expect we would ever get a shot to do. So we were kind of baffled by ourselves about the transition, because you're like, but it's the same process, same kind of sensibility that we have, and we feel like most of our films have like some screwed up guy trying to find redemption, and that's Cowboys and Aliens as well. So, and everything else we've done since First Snow. So we just feel like we're doing the same. We got
canvas is bigger, but
same character, same kind of thing we're trying to work out of our system, and it works really well in a Western.
Well, it seems like you guys have really good sensibilities for comic book movies too. Like, I mean, is it safe to say that you're both hardcore comic book fans?
Well, I grew up in Norway, so we didn't have like the same sort of comics that you did. But yeah, I mean, we had Agent X9. Is that I don't know if you guys have that. Oh, you do. Okay, so I read a lot of that, but there was a stretch there where we were. I certainly was just writing. I mean, I was actually was hanging around with a lot of guys who were in the comic book business, illustrators, writers, and they were doing some really cool stuff. So I was sort of in it from that from that angle. But yeah, I mean, Iron Man, came. I mean, John brought us onto that. We certainly, I wasn't a diehard fan of Iron Man, and we knew it existed, but we didn't read the comic book, every week and know the entire history of it. But when John brought us onto the movie, we got the whole Bible, and that was pretty cool. It was a New York phone book of great material through the ages, and it was pretty cool.
It was really funny. I remember when you guys got Iron Man, because I was talking to some people, and I said, Mark and Hawk, I met those guys, and now that they've done Iron Man, I'll never get to talk to them again. So, I'm actually
We're so tough. We're like, people got to slot themselves in to get a few minutes with us, man. We're just no, actually, it's anytime a writer gets full of himself, we just say walk a red carpet as a writer and see the reaction. You want to keep it honest, like watch the cameras go down and people clean their lenses, and nobody gives a damn. So if you ever get like thinking you're some kind of hot stuff, like walk a red carpet.
Well, we shovel coal in the engine room.
Yeah, right, exactly. We're just trying to keep the thing going. So
we love doing it.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing as even with First Snow. I mean, that was written sort of in in an obscure New York apartment in the dark sort of thing, and that was great. And it's still the same. The process hasn't changed any. It's still the same thing. It's still the same humbling experience.
Just bigger scale.
Yeah. Just many years ago, I sort of imagined that we'd get to this point in our career where you just know how to write a story and it would become easy, and it never is. And even William Goldman, on a bigger level, of course, faces the same sort of things. It's just the nature of writing and telling stories.
Every story kicks your ass, and you think you're going to conquer it, and every story, like you said, is brand new, starting over. You're a child again, and you got to struggle through it every time, and it's the learning curve. You get better at being resilient to the problems. You don't get so crushed by them, but you still, the story beats you up until you kind of figure it out, and it never changes. And that's a good way to put it. It's just you stay fresh all the time, because you never get, the learning curve doesn't really apply. Every story is different, so the mechanics of it, the problems,
maybe when it becomes easy, it's over.
Yeah,
you lose that spark, whatever that is.
Did you guys reference any classic Western films, like when you were writing this, or was there anything that you had playing in the DVD player while you were writing?
We watched everything. I mean, but also, growing up in Norway, in Europe, like what we think of the States is the cowboys and Indians, and the movies we watched were, the Painted Desert, the saguaros, the buttes, all that stuff was so iconic. And coming to the States, driving, when I was a kid, driving across, I mean, that was America, and Norwegian TV couldn't really afford the newer stuff that you guys were watching, so we ended up watching all your old movies, which were the westerns and the John Wayne and all that stuff. But yeah, we watched, so much stuff, and even very obscure. I mean, My Name Is Nobody of Terence Hill.
It's one of my favorite films.
I love that movie. Yeah. I showed it to the kids recently, and so we watched, everything.
You go more towards the camera, I guess, just so you can see
they're
it.
just angling you here towards the camera. Yeah, there we go. This is how we'll do the rest of the interview. So.
But no, when we grew up with the Ford stuff mainly and the Howard Hawks, and so we did steep ourselves back in them again, especially the Searchers, Stagecoach, Man Shot, Liberty Valance. The great that to me is like the holy trinity of westerns. But we watched them all again, Shane and High Noon, and every great one, every obscure one, a couple of singing cowboy ones, why not?
Yeah, sure.
And just remembered why people love these movies so much and why they still speak to this American mythology. The Ford stuff is just so, it still plays so fresh because it's timeless stuff, and so we wanted to make sure this movie was seen through the lens of great westerns first and foremost.
Now, did you guys ever think in a million years that you would be writing a movie that starred James Bond and Indiana Jones together?
I think we can safely say no to that.
Well, Bill Favreau just gets even Jeff Bridges, one of our favorite actors. We needed a villain in Iron Man. We're like, he's going down the list, and then he gets Jeff Bridges to come in and say, I can play with you guys. I can do this, and seduces these great actors to these projects that other guys would be like, a guy in a flying suit, I gotta do what, and he makes them fall in love with it and say, this is a great, epic Shakespearean. I don't know how he sells it to them, but he gets people to take it seriously, to really come on board and give great performances and elevate, material that in lesser hands could be, fun but nothing special, and he gets really special people to do it. So Harrison and Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is we're like, who's our new Steve McQueen? And it's him, and we got him, or John got him, and you're like, that's the level that you can only dream about getting those people, and then when you do, you're amazed,
Yeah. Well, the movie is Cowboys and Aliens. What's up next for you guys after this?
Well, currently we're working on a reboot of Lara Croft for Graham King, so that's very exciting and keeps us busy.
Trying to make just a whole new fresh take on on what people know about that character, and really take it somewhere cool and new, and unexpectedly so, which we try to do with everything we try to tackle, is make people say, I'm not sure, and then whoa, it's more than you expected it could be. So that's what we always try to do.
You guys come a long way from First Snow, but I love that movie, and I love what you do, and keep doing it. And thanks for bringing this film to the masses and everything. So,
I'm happy to be here.
Mark Fergus, Hawk Ostby, know their faces, because when you see them on the red carpet, they're the real heroes of the project, ladies and gentlemen.